this is one of those things that I was sort of faced with at the beginning of my journey here too. Like, what is the real me? How do I find that? Uh, do I have any experience with it? Particularly when I'm around other people, but just in general, because it's like, I have so many experiences of trying to fake it, trying to perform to be okay in the world, and under all that, where is the real me? Like, where do I feel like I'm actually connecting into sort of my higher self or my authentic self? And what occurred to me was that for me, ever since I was a teenager, where that has occurred is in writing poetry. And I've gone through phases of my life where I've written poetry and then not for many years, and then done it again, and then not for many years. But I have this experience with writing poetry that's different than really any of my other daily experiences. And that's when I'm inspired to write something or struck with an idea for writing a poem. It's like I go to this other location in myself. It feels like this other room in my brain that I don't really enter any other time. And I don't even know exactly how to enter it any other time. But when I'm writing poetry, it's almost like a meditative state that I find myself in. And the words just come out of me. I don't spend a lot of time writing and rewriting. I just kind of spit it all out and then it's done. Sometimes I just talk into the recorder on my phone and then the poem's done. And but I've gotten a lot of feedback over whenever I share it, like how it's great and it really speaks to this, and whatever I'm describing, people can really feel like they're there, and so forth. And it in this conversation with my mentor, I was like, oh, that must be where it is with me. And so I started exploring this with some other narcissists in some of the online forums I'm in. And there's all kinds of ways people have this experience. Some it's like in creating food, or some people it's, they have this connection with their deeper self when they exercise, or it can be anything. It doesn't have to be like poetry or music. It doesn't have to be an artistic form, though that's a common place for it to occur. And I think, for me, when I think about why it works with poetry, and when I sort of generalize that out to sort of artistic expression, it's like a different avenue or a different realm than our daily interactions. And that likely gives me permission to sort of drop all of that protection and facade and just connect with my deeper self. Now, yes, narcissists, it helps that I get positive feedback from my poems. If I wrote poetry and people were like, oh, those are crap, then, maybe it wouldn't happen the same way. But I don't think that would occur because it is me connecting with my authentic self. And what else is art than expressing who we are into the world? So, whether it's art, whether it's storytelling, even problem solving, some sort of creating, building something out of wood, whatever the case may be, I would encourage you to take some time and really consider, where does that show up in your life? And when you find it, really take some time considering why, what happens for me, not why, but what happens for me when I'm doing this thing, when I'm, whittling a stick into some cool thing, and I go into that sort of meditative state, or that state where I really feel like I'm connecting with my authentic self, and some of that facade can drop away. What's going on there? And I encourage you to spend more time there. Do that, because the more we can build that connection, it's like building a muscle, the more we have access to that in our everyday life.